Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is our today's question on LeetCode, and this question is basically daily challenge on 25th August, and the question is interleaving strings. So we will read this question first and we'll try to figure out how we can solve this question. So given a string s1, s2 and s3, find whether s3 is formed by interleaving s1 and s2. So an interleaving of two string s and t is a configuration where s and t are divided into n and m substrings respectively, and you can see that this string s has been divided into n substrings and t is divided into m substrings, and you can see that difference between n and m is less than equal to 1. And interleaving means what we can say, it means taking one string substring of s and then taking one substring of t, and again taking one substring of s and then t and so on. So this is the meaning of interleaving. So we have to check whether s3 can be formed by interleaving of s1 and s2 or not. So we are having these inputs. Okay, so for this input what we can say, we can take a from the string s1. Okay, and after that we can take dbbc from s2. Again we can take bc from s1 and a from s2 and c from s1. So in this way we can get our s3. So you can see that we are able to find out, we are able to get we can so you can see that s3 can be formed by using interleaving of s1 and s2. So we will return true here, and for this case we cannot have any such possibility of interleaving, so we will return false. And for empty string obviously our answer will be true. So let us think about how we can solve this question. So basically what we will do, we will have a three-dimensional dp vector. So 3D dp vector, and each dimension represents the three index. So each dimensions represents the three indexes or indices. So these three indices are int1, int2 and int3. So this int1 will iterate over s1, int2 will iterate over s2 and int3 will iterate over what s3. Okay, so what we will do, we will use some recursive function here. Okay, so what we will do, we will take a recursive function. Okay, and yeah, if int1 is less than s1 dot size. Okay, so if this is the case, so what we can do, we can have a character c1. So let us have a character c1, and that c1 will be nothing but s1 of int1. Okay, and again if int2 is less than s2 dot size. Okay, so we will again have a character c2, which will be nothing but s2 of int2. Okay, and so basically we are having these two characters. Okay, we are having these two characters here, and using these two characters we will try to find out whether these two characters can be added in our string. So whether these characters are equal to s3 of ind3 or not. So we will just find out whether this character is equal to s3 of ind3 or not, and if it is equal, we will just proceed for recursive cases, and otherwise we will just return false. So basically what we will have, we will have again two cases, like if if c1 is equal to s3 of int3. So what we can do, if for this case what we can have, we will just check for recursive cases. So what we will do, we will check, yeah, what we can do, we can solve for recursive cases. Okay, so what will be the recursive case, we will solve what we will solve, we will solve for int1 plus 1, int2, and again int3 will also increase by 1. So we will solve for this case. Okay, and similarly for c2, we will check for c2. If c2 is equal to s3 plus int3, s3 of int3, we will again solve recursively, but this time we will solve recursively for int1, int2 plus 1 and int3 plus 1. And if for any one of in for any from any one case we will get, if we get true from any one case, we will just return true, otherwise we will return false. Okay, so these are the recursive cases. And just talking about base cases, so basically the base case is that if int3 is equal to s3 dot size, so this is our base case. So what we'll do, we will check whether int1 is equal to s1 dot size and int2 is equal to s2 dot size or not. So if this is true, we will just return true, otherwise what we'll do, we will just return false. So this is our whole conclusion, how we can solve this question. So these are the base cases, and we have used dp here in we have used dp vector here in order to reduce the time complexity. We will use some sort of memoization and we will try to reduce the time complexity. Okay, so let us try to code this question. So initially what we will do, we will have dp vector, so vector of vector int dp, and we will have first dimension will be of size s1 plus s1 dot size plus 1, and again vector of int, the second dimension will be of size s2 dot size plus 1, and again we will have vector of int, third dimension will be of size s3 dot size plus 1, and we will initiate all this all the cell of this dp vector with -1. Okay, so I will write here this dp vector will be used for memoization. Okay, so we will use this dp vector for memoization, and we will have a recursive function here. So boolean recursive function solve, we will have parameters int1 and int int2 and int int3 and string and s1 string and s2, and again we can have string and s3, and we will also pass this dp vector in as a parameter. Okay, so I will directly copy paste here. So yeah, so we will pass it by reference because we are going to update it. So talking about our base cases, so base cases, so if int3 is equal to s3 dot size, so we will have again one case that if s1 dot size or int1 is equal to, if int1 is equal to s1 dot size and int2 is also equal to s2 dot size, so we can say that we have iterated over both the strings, so we will just return true in this case, otherwise what we will do, we will just return false. Okay, and if we know the value of dp corresponding to int1, int2 and int3, we will directly return it. So if it is not equal to -1, we will just return dp of int1, int2 and int3. Okay, and after that we will have two characters char c1, which will be initially, we can take it as a random character, and c2 again a random character. Okay, so basically if int1 is less than s1 dot size, okay, so if int1 is less than s1 dot size, then c1 is equal to nothing but s1 of int1, and similarly for int2 is less than s2 dot size, our c2 will be nothing but s2 of int2. Okay, so we will get this c1 and c2, and we will do the same thing, we will solve for this part and this part. So we will have a bool answer, okay, which will be initially false. Okay, so if c1 is equal to s3 of ind3, so what we will do, we will just solve recursively. So we will check if solve of you can see that we have taken this int3 int1, so we will just increase the value of int1 with 1. int2 will remain as it is, int3 will be increased by 1, and rest character will be as it is, s1, s2 and s3 and dp. So if it is going to return true, we will update our answer as true. Okay, again doing the same thing for c2. If c2 is equal to s3 dot ind3, we will solve for int1, int2 plus 1 and int3 plus 1, and if it is going to return true, we will just return true. Otherwise what we'll do, we will just return false. So basically we will return dp of int1, int2 and int3 is equal to answer. Okay, so basically we are trying to use memoization here. Okay, and we are trying to reduce the time complexity using memoization. Okay, so you can see that this repeated case has been avoided. It is returned directly. So I will write here repeated case. Okay, and this is our main recursive case. Okay, so let again in our main function, what we will do, we will just return the solve value of solve. So we will return solve, we will pass parameter 0 0 0 because int1, int2 and int3 are initially 0, s1, s2 and s3 and our dp vector. So let us see whether the code works or not. So you can see that test cases are passing. Let us see for main cases. So you can see that all the cases are passing, and I will try to explain this code again. So what we were doing, we were having this index 1 and index 2, and again we will have an index 3. Okay, so if index what we will have a recursive function here, and if index 1 is less than s1 dot size, we will take a character s1 of int1, and similarly for c2 is equal to s2 of int2. And what we will do, if c1 is equal to s3 of int3, okay, if both of them are equal, we will solve recursively for int1 plus 1, int2 and int3 plus 1, and similarly for c2 is equal to s3 dot s3 of int3, we will solve for int1, int2 plus 1, int3 plus 1. Okay, if after solving recursively, if they are going to return true, we will mark we can return true. Okay, otherwise what we can do, we can return false. So that's what we have done here. And talking about the base cases, if int3 is equal to s3 dot size, what we will do, we will have another case if int1 is equal to s1 dot size and int2 is equal to s2 dot size. So if both of them are true, we will just return true, otherwise we will return false. And in order to reduce the time complexity, we have used the 3-dimensional dp vector. Okay, so we are using memoization here to reduce the time complexity. So let us see the code again. So you can see that this is the base case. When int3 is equal to s3 dot size, we will again take this case in consideration, and if it is going to return true, we will just return true, otherwise we will return false. And this is our repeated case. dp of int1, int2 and int3 is not equal to -1, which means we know the value corresponding to this combination, we will directly return it, otherwise we will go for recursive cases. And this is how we have found c1 and c2. And again we have solved recursively for c1 is equal to s3 of int3 and c2 is equal to s3 of int3, and we have written dp of int1 into int3 is equal to answer. And finally in our main function, we have written the value of solve of 0 0 0, s1, s2, s3 and dp. So in this way we have solved this question. I hope you understood my solution, and if you like my solution, if you like my code, you can like my video also. And if you have any kind of doubt regarding this question, or if you want to share any other approach for this question, you can write in comment section. And if you want to see some more videos like this, you can subscribe my channel, and the code link will be present in description. Thank you.